If somebody took me, I mean, if I were a district judge and somebody wanted to fly me on his private plane on a vacation with his family and I were friendly with that person, would I have refused and endangered the friendship? I'm not sure that I would have.
Hey guys, I'm Max Burns, and that was former Bush administration Attorney General Mike Mukasey, boldly telling Congress that actually bribing elected officials with lavish trips is pretty cool. At least Mukasey doesn't seem to think it's very bad, and he's basically recommending more government officials give it a try. Mukasey was testifying just as Democrats began their investigation into Justice Clarence Thomas's very profitable and very secret friendship with billionaire GOP donor Harlan Crow. And in case you were curious, here's what Clarence's friendship with Crow looked like.
That for years, Justice Clarence Thomas has secretly accepted luxury gifts from a GOP mega donor, Harlan Crow. Gifts like private jet flights, luxury yacht cruises. And according to the report, the Supreme Court justice never reported them on annual financial disclosures. Well, that's a problem.
Yeah, I'd say that's a problem. Because as it turns out, Clarence Thomas and Harlan Crow enjoy a much closer relationship than just enjoying rich people stuff together. Check it out.
In 2014, Crow bought several properties in this quiet residential neighborhood in Savannah, Georgia, that had belonged to Clarence Thomas and his relatives, including a house where Thomas's mother was still living and 2 vacant house lots. The purchase marks the first known instance of money flowing from Crow to Thomas. And although a Watergate-era law requires justices and other officials to disclose details of most real estate sales over $1,000, and this was $133,000, Thomas never disclosed his sale of the properties.
You heard that right. Harlan Crow, billionaire Republican businessman with business before the Supreme Court, is also Clarence Thomas's mother's landlord. And to make it even more sketchy, no one actually seems to know if Clarence's mom is even paying rent. Must be nice. But you wouldn't hear any of this if you talked to Republicans, because the way they're telling the story, Clarence Thomas is an innocent and honorable man who just happened to leave millions of dollars in financial dealings off his reports. And he did that every year for, well, decades. Yeah, Clarence Thomas is just some dude hanging out with his bros, like anyone else. Except Mr. Justice Clarence's buddies all seem to be people trying to use the Supreme Court to advance extreme Republican cases. That includes Mark Paoletta, who's representing Ginny Thomas in her ongoing January 6th legal troubles, and Leonard Leo, a far-right legal activist closely connected to the Federalist Society. Peter Turlidge, another Thomas buddy, is also a major Federalist Society player. All of these individuals are actively involved in efforts to use the Supreme Court as a weapon to enact sweeping Republican policies on the rest of us. But come on, everyone's got one buddy like that, right? Right?
The left and some of their media allies want the American people to gasp in horror, that one Supreme Court justice vacations with his friends, that another one sold his house when he moved, and that Chief Justice Roberts' wife has a career outside the home.
And you know what? I'm glad Mitch McConnell mentioned Ginny Thomas, because Ginny does in fact work outside the home. And you want to guess where she gets her paychecks? From groups connected to none other than Harlan Crow. But for Republicans, the real scandal isn't Clarence Thomas's stunning lack of ethics. No, the problem is Democrats who actually want to talk about it. Watch this.
This assault on Justice Thomas is well beyond ethics. It is about trying to delegitimize a conservative court that was appointed through the traditional process. From our point of view, this is not going to work. You can write all the articles you want to write. You can take all the shots at the conservative justices you want to take. You can picket before their houses, and it's not going to stop people from doing their job.
You heard Lindsey Graham. Republicans are going to advance their agenda regardless of what the American people want, and even if their corruption is plastered on the front page of every newspaper in America. Because this has never been about ethics for Republicans. It's always been about power. In a functional government, Clarence Thomas would be impeached and removed for his clear and repeated ethics violations. That is clearly not the government we have. Until that changes, Republicans will keep pushing their corruption and daring Democrats to stop them. And if you're in the mood for even more, check out this special report you don't want to miss. And as always, leave a comment below to let me know what I should cover next.